What time is it? Okay, we have some fabulous live music later on, but right now, here's the kind I prefer.
What's up, everybody? This is Shad with West Coast Styles. I am here with Southern Hip Hop Royalty on Saturday afternoon, September 26th. Big Mike is in the house. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, brother. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. It's a pleasure to see and speak with you again. I don't know if you remember, we actually met and kind of hung out a little bit a couple years ago on a Super Bowl weekend with N.O. Joe and Devin the Dude down in Houston.
In Houston.
Yep.
In Houston. Yeah, Joe had the showcase with the live band.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. Been a minute.
It has. Good to see you again and have the opportunity to speak with you.
Already. Thank you for having me.
For sure. So a lot of times we start at the beginning, but I'm going to switch it up today. And I want you to talk about starting off with your new album that you've got coming out, Finish the Job.
Yeah. Well, Finish the Job, man. That's, I don't know what number album this is for me. I want to say 10 or 11, but yeah, it's a new project that I've been working hard on for the past couple of years or whatnot. Yeah, man, 13 cuts on it. Got a few features by members of my team on my IND. But yeah, man, the album was an awesome journey. I'm just happy that it's come to completion and getting ready to be delivered up to the people, you know. Just been working hard on it, man, banging tracks, a lot of substance, a lot of growth, you know, a lot of maturity, you know. I'm 49 now, right? So, you know, I got to make music that's suitable for myself and for my peers to be able to listen to, you know what I mean? So I definitely had to get deep into concentration for this one, but you know, I'm happy with the outcome.
Oh, wonderful. You've always been one of my favorite lyricists. I think lyricism is, you know, overlooked in the South sometimes because of the, you know, the crunk sound and because it's more commonly associated with beats. But I mean, you and, you know, a few others are not only a premier lyricist of the South, but a premier lyricist in hip hop. So I think it's real. So it's to hear that you're kind of, you know, digging deep on this one as well is really saying something.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, man, you know, I try. So, you know, yeah, sometimes lyricism is overlooked in the South, you know, but it's definitely a lot of accomplished lyricists in the South, from the South. So, you know, we steady pushing that line, you know, steady pushing that line. But yeah, man, I stay on my pen. You know, I try to make sure that my skills as sharp as possible. I love what I do. I'm thankful that God gave me the opportunity to do this. He blessed me with this specific gift, and I love it, man. I just try to give it 110% every time.
As a writer, are you someone that will typically write to a track or have lyrics penned and then kind of try to find a track that fits it?
Sometimes if the lyrics come to me, right, and I don't have a track, but the lyrics are coming to me, I have to put them down, right? Mm-hmm. So I kind of like remember the tempo that I wrote it to, right? So it's easier to fit a track around it or fit it to a track. But most of the time, you know, we build the tracks from scratch around the lyrics if it happens like that. A lot of times I get the track and, you know, go through the usual process. I write through the track, but a lot of those good songs come when you don't have a track. You know what I mean? And you have to build the track around it. So, but yeah, my writing style, it varies. Sometimes I write to the beat. Sometimes I don't write to the beat. You know, sometimes I might write to an old school song, you know, and things like that because of the tempo or whatnot is what I want to deliver my rhymes to.
Growing up in a family of musicians, how did that shape your creative output and creative approach?
Well, you know, music is in my DNA. So, you know, getting acquainted with instrumentation, timing, cadence, you know, that really helped me as an MC, right? But you know, growing up in the 70s, it was singing and instrumentation until, you know, the hip hop had came along. And you know, once hip hop had came along, I knew that that was going to be my direction. You know what I'm saying, with music. You know, but yeah, just you know, it was also growing up with my father's musician. You know, a lot of the people in my family, you know, they're writers or musicians themselves. You know, and it's not just that in our family. You know, we have educators and people that have a variety of different jobs and different talents. But yeah, you know, having the music in my family was definitely a plus. It definitely gave me a leg up as an MC.
Some of your earliest recordings were demos you recorded with your father that ended up making its way to Rap a Lot. How did all of that happen?
Uh, well, when I was moved to Houston, I would go back to New Orleans for the summers, and I guess around 15, close to 16 years old, me and my father actually got in the studio and recorded 2 songs on myself. I took those 2 songs back, that demo back to Houston with me. I was working at the Olive Garden, matter of fact, for a short-lived spell as a teenager, and that's where I had met Tony Draper. He was working there as well. I was on the saute skillets. He was on the pizza oven. But anyway, you know, we became friends, and we was you know, one night he was taking me home from work. I didn't have a car at the time. He did though. And he was taking me home, and I asked him, "Can I play my tape?" Played the tape, and he was like, "Damn, when you did this." So I tell him, you know, I went to New Orleans and did it. So he had a guy. It turned out to be my guy later. John Beto was producer over at Rap a Lot. So he asked me, could he take the demo with him? I was like, yeah, you can take the demo, but make sure you bring my tape back, you know. So he get the demo, and he takes the demo to John Beto. John Beto takes the demo to over there to Rap a Lot, and that's how I got started from there.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So Rap a Lot was a few years ahead of Suave House then, because you and Tony were kind of tight. Because again, obviously you guys knew each other before music and everything too.
Yeah. Yeah, Rap a Lot was what came before Suave House. Me and Tony, we was just dreaming our dream at the time. You know, matter of fact, we was just dreaming at the time. And Tony always wanted to have his own record label. You know, I wanted to be a hot MC, and it's just amazing how those things happen for us. You know what I mean? Aside from us being together, he wound up having Swap House and having all that success. I wound up, you know what I'm saying, having success in my career with the Convicts, the Ghetto Boys, and as a solo artist. You know, I mean, it was an awesome thing. But yeah, that's how it happened. That's how the well, me and Tony, actually, we went back into the studio and start recording more demos together. He would pay for half the sessions. I would pay for half the sessions. And I think he brought those demos over to Rap a Lot as well. And we had a meeting with Rap a Lot, and they presented me with the convict situation, and it went on from there.
Well, that's wonderful. And obviously, you know, everything happens for a reason. And then you and Suave House were able to get together on that incredible track you did with 8 Ball and MJG. So
Right.
it all worked out.
Most definitely.
So talk a little, first of all, about RIP Mr. 32.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about the Convicts in that first album and just how all of that came together? I mean, it was really gritty and aggressive, but definitely a landmark recording.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, guys. 1 second.
Oh, no problem.
All this traffic coming through is ridiculous. Okay. Yeah, well, my guy, Mr. 32, can you repeat that question again so I can hear the whole question once more?
Sure, no problem. I was just saying, can you kind of talk about putting that first album together? I know a lot of it went into it. It caught the attention of, you know, Death Row Records and all that, but just, you know, especially with some of the content too, it was, you know, fairly aggressive at the time, but it definitely left a mark. How did all of that, you know, come together?
But the convict situation was presented to me, and it was presented to 32 as well. It was a brainchild, you know, of the label. So they came to us with the idea, you know, and we rocked with it, you know. It was our way of getting out there You know, so a lot of the ideas, came Jay Prince. He bounced ideas back and forth off of us. He would have concepts that he would want us to build to and come up with songs to, you know, and then we would do some things within the album that we wanted to do. You know what I mean? And that's how the album had came about. But yeah, the album was gritty, it was hard hitting, but it turned out to be, underground hip hop classic. And it did catch the attention of Death Row Records. You know, that's how we wind up out there for a little bit. You know, was able to do some recording and probably with the guys and stuff out there. But yeah, it was an awesome experience working with my brother, Mr. 32, man. RIP. I miss him a lot. Wish he was still here. He made doing his time here. He made some awesome music, and I do miss him a lot. I do miss him a lot.
For sure. And the influence you had on the West Coast with that album is definitely prevalent. I mean, you see the Nightlighters Damn track that you guys sampled for Fuck School that shows up on Dre's Lyrical Gangbang song. You've got your Peterman, which Snoop then used on his Stranded on Death Row. So, I mean, it was a wonderful thing for, and I'm glad that Snoop gave 3-2 his props later for, inspiring him to do that and kind of saying that that's where he got his slang from. I thought that was a great thing.
Yeah, most definitely. They picked up a lot of stuff from us. We picked up things from them as well. That's what building is about. You know what I'm saying? Coming together is about. I did enjoy my time in LA. I wish we would have been able to record more music and get that next Convict record out, but we was unable to at the time, but everything happens for a reason. Shout out to all the people that was up at Death Row when we came down to the label. It was love on another level, and I just appreciate the experience.
What was that like? It just, working with, seeing Dre in the studio, working with DOC, and Snoop was even your roommate too, wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, it was crazy because 1 minute I'm in I'm in the projects, recording rap videos onto a VHS tape, looking at Dr. Dre, seeing the whole NWA thing, and of course we was caught up in that, so DOC as well. And then, what I'm saying, then one day I'm waking up in Dr. Dre's house. You know what I mean? Sleeping on the floor. I'm waking up in Dr. Dre's home. And, I'm chopping up Dr. Dre. Here's DOC, man. Here's Miss Chalet at the time. It was an awesome experience. My mind was blown, man. It was an awesome experience. And I'm grateful for it.
Yeah, and then you even ended up in one of those videos you probably would have taped in Snoop's Gin and Juice video when you break the table.
Most definitely.
So then, in the midst of all of this, there's a transition with the Ghetto Boys, and so how did that come about? Did Jay reach out to you and say, "Hey, Willie, stepped out for a second. We want you to come in and be a third member," and how did that kind of work with or conflict with all the plans you had with 3-2 in the next Convict album?
Jay Prince did reach out to me about the Willie D stepping off from the group. He didn't give the reasons why Willie D stepped off from the group, but he told me, that Willie D had stepped off from the group. It was a number of people at the label that was reaching out to me, propositioning me about filling that open position, right? So I had thought about it. I thought about it for a little while. Once we had got to LA, we had hit the studio, we were recording, and then for a second things had kind of slowed down, right? So things had kind of slowed down. I really didn't know what was happening with the Convicts album, if we was gonna ever even drop a Convicts album, on Death Row Records or not. And then the Ghetto Boy situation came up. So I thought about it for a little while. And then I decided to make my decision. I said, well, it's not going to hurt me. It's only going to help me. It's going to give me, an extra foundation to launch from. So I accepted the situation and then we went on from there. But I think me doing that Ghetto Boys album, it did kind of kill future plans for the Convicts records, because once I jumped on the Ghetto Boy thing, it was already moved. We was moving. You know what I mean? So I didn't have time to like. It was early in my career. I didn't have time to step back. I'm still trying to get my skin in the game. You know, get my feet wet and get out there and get established. So I think it did, play a part in us not actually getting back together recording, because once I dropped the Ghetto Boy album, that took off. It set me up for my solo album. I dropped my solo album. Then 3-2 dropped his solo album. But I would always reach back and grab 3-2 because I put him on a straight gangsterism.
That's right.
Right? And then when I dropped my solo album, I put him on Fire off of my solo album. You know what I mean? So I never did forget about my brother. You know what I mean? I would always reach back for him and things like that. So, but yeah, I do wish we would have had the opportunity to record that Convict album and drop it on Death Row. It would have been sick because we was off to a good start. I'm telling you, like songs like Straight Gangsterism, that was for the Convicts album, right? It almost made the Chronic. Dre wanted that for the Chronic. Mr. Officer, that we used on Ghetto Boys album, right? That was for the Convicts album. That was about to make the Chronic album. Matter of fact, Dre and them had recorded the Mr. Officer, right?
Oh, wow. Did they?
Yeah, they had recorded the Mr. Officer. So yeah, that was going to be on the Chronic, but yeah, Rapper Like Society, they say, well, if Dr. Dre want those songs, then those songs must be hits. We gonna keep them.
Oh.
And that's what happened. But I do wish I would have been able to trade off something, you know what I'm saying, with Dre, and he could have did something for us on that particular Ghetto Boys album, but it didn't happen that way, but it's all good.
So you were able to take the tracks with you, or did you or were some of them like re-recorded?
Well, actually, when we got to Houston, we redid the music for both of the tracks.
Okay.
We did the music for both of the tracks, yeah.
So yeah, another one of my favorite cuts from that album too was No Nuts, No Glory.
Right.
So yeah, as a fan, much appreciated.
Thank you.
Oh, of course. And then shifting over to your solo album, Something Serious. So you're moving along with the Ghetto Boys and success of that album, and then how did the solo album situation come about? Was that based on the success of the Ghetto Boys, or was that something that was planned prior to that?
It was something that was planned prior to that, right? But with the success, and the attention that I've garnered from the Ghetto Boys album, right, we decided to move plans up a bit.
Okay. Yeah, and that album is absolutely fantastic. Player, classic. One of my personal favorite songs. And it was actually when I was first introduced to you was the song Having Things with Pimp C. I was watching the movie Dangerous Minds, and when they played it in there, that was the first time I ever heard it.
Okay.
And that definitely caught my ear. No disrespect to Coolio, Gangsta's Paradise has its place too, but I definitely remember Having Things, stands out to me
right.
Sure. What was that like working with another person, brilliant artist we lost too soon, Pimp C? What was it like working with him?
Oh man, it was awesome. You know what I'm saying? We bonded on some brotherly love. Pimp he had hit me up. He was like, Mike, when you start recording your solo album, I got one for you, right? So he said, you're gonna have to come down here to Port Arthur though. So I was like, all right, man, give me some time. As soon as I get some extra time, I'm gonna get down there to PA. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna build it. We're gonna go from there. So yeah, I wound up going down there, spending about a week down there with him. The first few days we didn't even record. We were just smoking some good weed, just building, just bonding, chopping it up with Bun and they whole little gang. And then I say about when it was getting close, time for my trip to be up, my visit to be up. We got off in the studio, and I wrote Having Things to the track. He gave me the track. The track was amazing. It sounded so southern. You know what I mean? It sounded old, but it sounded new. And I was like, yeah, that's the one right there. So, I penned the chorus. I sung the chorus originally, right? Oh, really? So I'm singing the chorus, and then I'm listening to Pimp C talk to me back and forth, during the session. And I said, you know what, Pimp? To give this record more character, you should sing the chorus. with your voice, right? And boom, he got on there. He sung the chorus, and the rest was history, man. It was a Southern class, a hip hop classic after that.
Yeah, and that was awesome too. How you were able to do that remake for him in '06, right when he got out for his Pimpilation album.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I had just got out in '04.
Mhm.
So once he had got out, he had hollered at me, and he was like, Mike, I think we need to do that habit things again. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to help both of us, right? Put us back in the consciousness of people, right? So he was like, man, I'm just gonna grab the track. We just gonna, you know what I'm saying? Remix the same track, and I met him at the studio, dropped the verse on it, put it out on his record, and that was that.
No,
And
well,
I think that was the last time. I think maybe last time that I was able to record with him. I think it was, yeah.
oh wow. So, uh, and then jumping back in time a little bit because I jumped right to '06, but moving back then. So, what was it like doing your follow up album, Still Serious in '97? I would imagine there was a little bit of pressure there with the success of your previous two, releases, and well, three, but especially since it had been a couple years too, and rap obviously has a short attention span sometimes. So.
Yes. Well, over at Rapper, like, we didn't really have a schedule. So, you really didn't know when you was going to be called upon to start recording your album or working on some new works or anything like that, right? So that preparation time, you know what I mean? I didn't have that for the Still Serious album. And then we was going through the transition where they was changing distributors, right? And they wound up doing the deal with Virgin New Tribe, right? So not only do I have to deal with rap a lot, but now I got to deal with Virgin New Tribe, right? So when I get over there to meet the staff at Virgin New Tribe, I have a demo of some new works that I had been working on, right? So I played it for them. They heard some songs that they fell in love with that they wanted to use for my next album, for the Still Serious album. I didn't want to use some of those songs, right? Some of the songs were just concepts. I didn't want to use some of those songs, right? But it was a new venture, right? So, I'm trying to make good with the label and wind up releasing songs on the album that I didn't really want on the album, right? But we we did our best with the record because I was still able to get a lot of my concepts on there as well. But I wish I would have had more time with that record because I had a lot of prep time, with the Something Serious record, right? So that's why the Something Serious record came out like it did, because I had so much time to get ready for it. And when we got into the studio too, man, we were just working. I had Mike Dean in one room, N.O. Joe in one room, Mike B in one room. Of course, I went and worked with Pimp C, and I myself produced a number of tracks on that album as well. So, but by the time the Still Serious album came along, man, I'm doing shows, I'm doing appearances, I'm here, I'm there, I'm here, I'm there. So the schedule was crazy, right? So the attention and the detail that I put into the Something Serious album, I wasn't able to put into the Still Serious album, right? And I should have been more mature enough to handle it. But it comes with growing. It comes with growing. You know what I mean? I was a young man. I was trying to balance everything the best that I could. And in that case, I think my art kind of suffered for it. You know what I'm saying? A little bit, because I wasn't able to do all the things that I wanted to do with that album. But we got off in there, we handled business, and we still delivered a damn good album. But yeah, it didn't get the attention that I felt like that baby deserved.
So, with the lessons you learned from that experience, what were you able to take from that and carry with you into the creation of the Hard to Hit album in '99?
Okay, so by the time the Hard to Hit album came, the circumstances were totally different, right? So now I have disputes with the label, right? Got make disputes going on with the label. It kind of got ugly, got into a little gangster shit around the time where I was doing that record. So I was dealing with a lot of frustration at the time, putting that album together. I'm not happy with my contract situation. The label trying to pressure me to sign another contract, right? It kind of got ugly, got into some gangster shit, So my focus on that album, my focus was not there, right? So once I was able to gain a moment of clarity, right, because I had to put everything on the table, and I was like, listen, I got to get this done so I can get my money because I can't make no move if I ain't got my money right, right? So I'm doing what I have to do, you know what I'm saying? And I went off in the studio. I think I put together an awesome record, the record that the public eventually received, that they eventually released, was not the record that I had put together.
Oh, wow.
I put together a record and I delivered the record to the label, right? Mixed and mastered the record and everything, delivered the record to the label, right? The label got the record, and I think it was a sabotage job because we was having some issues, right? And I was out the door. So I guess they like, you know what, we're gonna sabotage this last project. So he out the door, but we're gonna bring his value down, right? This is what I believe, because the album that I delivered was not the album that had came out. The album that came out, they had then lifted the tracks off the album and put their own tracks on the album. They took artists that I had featured on the album, took them off the album, and put other artists as featured artists on the album, right? There's some label shit going on. You feel me? They feel like they got the right to do that. You know what I'm saying? And they botched my project. But they're not going to tell the public, you know what? They might deliver to us one album. We took that album, took the tracks off it, put other tracks on it, right? Totally rearranged his concepts, right? And then we put the record out with no promotion, no none of that. That's why I say it seemed like it was a sabotage job to me. Matter of fact, I'm firmly convinced that it was a sabotage job. But hey man, my God is bigger than all of my enemies. And any kind of traps that the devil might try to place before me to hold me back or whatnot. You know what I mean? So, hey man, I just progressed through life, and here I am right now, healthy, well, still jamming, sounding amazing at my age. You know what I mean? Right? And with the new album, Finish the Job, because I named it Finish the Job because of that reason there, right? My career was kind of like shortstop, interrupted due to label politics and things like that, right? So it was left incomplete. But now I'm back to finish the job.
Oh, I like it. What in terms of you working with artists older and newer, what is someone who's been in the game for a minute, what to you makes a great MC?
First, you have to have the skills for the job, right? You have to have the skills for the job. And content, subject matter, what you choose to write about. It's good to have fun, right? We love the fun hip hop songs. We love the club songs, right? We love the rider songs. We love all of that, right? But if you're gonna be a true MC, you got to feel the heartbeat of the people, right? You got to feel the heartbeat of the community. You got to know the advantages and the disadvantages, right? So you constantly you have to be aware of what's going on, most definitely, and you couple that with the skills, right, and everything else that you've learned from veteran hip hop artists that came before yourself, and you got your finger on the heartbeat of the people, you know what I mean, and the pulse of the community, right? I think you'll be awesome. You'll be forever to be able to be current, and you can continue to do your thing. Even when you're great like me, you can still do your thing.
Is your new album what is that being released? What label is that being released through? Is it independent? How are you going?
It's independent. It's being released through my label. I have a label called Armor IND. The IND is for industries, right? Because we do music, you know what I'm saying? We into film, and we plan on doing more things than just entertainment, right? But entertainment is what pays the bills, right? So yeah, I'm releasing it on my own independently, and I'm looking forward to the success of it.
When can people be checking for that?
Man, they can start checking for that thing, man. Maybe tomorrow night, if not Monday. I had it scheduled to reach the official release is for tomorrow. Tomorrow is my birthday, so I thought it'd be cool to drop a record. You know what I'm saying, on my birthday, right? But you know how the things go. It might pop up that day or the next day. But yeah, look forward to any day now.
Well, happy early birthday! Hell of a birthday present.
Thank you.
Yeah, is there anything else you want to talk about or comment on that we haven't touched on? I know we've covered a lot of ground, a lot of years, a lot of people.
All right.
Is there any other specific thing you want to set the record straight on or clarify or discuss? Make sure that people know about.
Nah, man, it is what it is with me. I just want everybody to be aware of that new album that's coming out. Finish the Job. Go check for that. It's an awesome album. It's going to take you on an amazing journey. I worked really hard on it. I'm very proud of it, and I can't wait for the success of it. And look, man, y'all want to get at me, y'all can holler at me. Fans can get at me on Instagram at OG Big Mike, and for all the the Facebook heads, they can get at me at the OG Big Mike. I'm trying to get both of them the same, but I'm having a little difficulty, but we'll work it out. So yeah, get at me on Instagram at OG Big Mike and on Facebook at the OG Big Mike. And I constantly put up content about what I'm doing next, you know what I mean, and things like that. So yeah. But again, man, it's all about the new record. I mean, what else can I say? Finish the Job. With the title song off that we just dropped. Gonna get ready to release the video off of that one as well. It's titled Finish the Job. And yeah, we're just gonna have fun rolling these songs out off of this album.
Well, that's fantastic. We definitely, hope the best for you. I mean, I know it's just, as a fan, I know it's going to be a solid project because I know the quality of content that you put out. But hopefully, the public receives it the way it needs to be received, and yeah, you can just continue to prove your value and your ability in this in the rap game, man. So.
Yeah, man, most definitely. I think it's going to do well. I think once people get it right and they start talking about it, you know what I mean, and sharing about how they feel about the record, because the feedback is awesome. Of the people that I bounced it off so far. So yeah, I can't wait till the public get it, man. I can't wait. I know God's going to bless it. You know what I mean, because we work real hard on it. And yeah, we're just trying to combat a lot of stuff that's out there right now. It's so much stuff going on politically, socially. You know what I mean? I just wanted to make an album that reflects everything that's going on. You know what I mean? Fun days, bad days, all of that there. But listen, man, the album is awesome. I can keep talking about it on and on. Finish the Job. Y'all go cop that.
Oh, definitely. We'll definitely make sure our viewers and listeners are aware for that. And thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure. And again, great to talk with you again after these couple years. And
yeah.
Can you do us a favor before you bounce and go and maybe just do a drop for us and shout out West Coast Styles?
Already, let's do it.
All right.
Tell me when to go.
Oh, whenever you're ready, sir.
Hey, what up, bro? This your big bro, OG Big Mike. And right now you're checking out West Coast Styles.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it, Mike. Hopefully we'll be able to, keep in touch and be able to continue to communicate as the record, comes out and continues to roll, and do what we can to keep everything pushing.
Man, I would appreciate that, Shad. Thanks a lot, brother.
Oh,
thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Take care.
Hey, take care. Shout out to Chad Kaiser. Let's keep working.
What time is it? Okay, we have some fabulous live music later on, but right now, here's the kind I prefer.